Jason Abbott here with American Honda. We're at Huia MX for the press intro of the all-new 2019 CRF250RX.
The CRF250RX is a great bike because it will kind of bridge the gap between a guy that's a motocrosser or a guy that's just a trail rider, because it's so easy and comfortable to get on and just ride. It has a lot of motocross attributes, but it's smooth enough to be ridden on the trails, and so somebody that's just an avid trail rider will really like this bike. And with the handling and the suspension and the power, the way it's displaced, it's very, very confident, inspiring for the average rider.
It is a moto bike with a mellow map on it, a kickstand, and an 18-inch rear wheel. Those little changes do make a big difference, and I know that from riding a moto bike last year. You know, we put an 18-inch wheel and all that other stuff on the R, and you know, I think a lot of people will really enjoy riding this bike and the tight technical stuff. It's a really fun, all-around bike. You don't really need to do anything to it. Be competitive and have fun on it.
I gotta say, I'm quite a fan of the RX lineup because I love having a bike that I can hit the track, the trails, off-road loops on, everything in one package, and kind of get the best of all worlds. If you take a motocross bike out and try to do most of the single track or the GP loops we did today, yeah, it can be fun, but they're just rigid. They kick around a lot, they waste a lot of energy, and they get a little bit sketchy. Now where the RX steps in there is I can have a blast on the trails, I can be really competitive in off-road races, but I can take it to the track and be within a second of the lap time I have on a motocross bike, and honestly do it quite comfortably. I think what the RX really has going for it is it's not just an off-road machine. In my opinion, I look at it as a moto bike, my off-road bike, my do-it-all machine.
I'd really say that this bike is like that perfect in-between. You know, after just getting done doing like 2 30-minute motos on the main track and then going out and hitting some trails, it has all the bottom end in the world that you need, and also very luggish and easy to ride at the same time in the trails.
What they've done is just taken the motocross bike, add a few off-road bits to it, done a little bit of tuning, and it's a competition race bike, kind of like the one you would want to build if you were to start with a motocrosser. Riding it, man, I was surprised. For a bike on the motocross track that's kind of known as really high-strung, not very torquey, and really kind of a screamer, once we took this thing out on the trails, it's like, wow, it does have torque. You never ride the motocross bike down that low in the power band, and you can start feeling that this engine, when the throttle's cracked, actually has pretty good torque and pull. And especially when you start running the power band up in the Rs, it still remains pretty flickable and agile, and probably one of the lightest 250Fs I've ever felt on the trail.